Okay. Now I'm going to share my screen, share my sound. And
you've done this before.
Yes. And I'm going to and I'm going to put this in presentation mode so that there we have it. Is that it?
That's good. I'm going to mute myself now.
All right, my dears. Well, Reverend Albert, what a great thing you've created here. And thank you again for inviting me to participate. And I'd like to thank my dear friend and our advisor on our board, Ruth Broidy-Sharon, who told me about this opportunity and connected us. So I'm happy to share Think Round's twin visions that celebrate Earth as our home and humans as our family. Think Round is a 501c3 nonprofit in San Francisco. Our mission is to cultivate the fullest potential of home and family through art and science. Our objectives are to expand our award-winning community benefits programs and public art projects, give voice and an active role to the residents in the impact zone of Hunters Point Shipyard in the southeast sector of San Francisco, and to complete the Paradise Project and build the Center for the Human Family. These are our twin visions. That's a little heads up. So this is a 6-part presentation. I'll be discussing why we're here and what now, what's coming next. We'll review our art and science programs and accomplishments. We'll talk about our new programs and partners, our whole systems learning curriculum. We'll discuss how healing trauma became a focus of Think Round's health and wellness programming. And we'll discuss Think Round's twin visions, and we'll ask you to decide why create the Paradise Project and build the Center for the Human Family. So why are we here and what now? We're here for the love of art, science, home, family, and faith. And what now? I'm always asking, what now? We're here for these children, their families, and the planet. We taught for 20 years in the public schools in Bayview, Hunters Point, the southeast sector of San Francisco, 5 elementary schools backed up to the shipyard, the Hunters Point Shipyard. It's a closed naval base. And they have a lot of fears and concerns about the toxic Superfund nature of that site. And that's what we were there to do, is teach them about what's happening at the shipyard. We had many important and vital civic leaders supporting us over the 20 years. Nancy Pelosi came to our final celebrations annually, either in person here or through her aides. And the mayor and all of the members of the board of supervisors and so forth have been active in our programming. These are other stakeholders we've been involved with and potential funders for our twin visions. We have a multi-dollar project in mind, and our aspirations are grand and our intentions are real. We aren't just messing around. So where did these visions come from to build the Center for the Human Family and put the Paradise Project on the 3rd floor? They were born of several writers and teachers, the first of which was Joseph Campbell in his Power of Myth series with Bill Moyers. He was asked, Bill asked what's going to happen in the future if religions are failing families. And Joseph Campbell said, when you see the earth from the moon, you don't see divisions there of nations or states. This might be the symbol really for the new mythology to come. This is the country that are going to be celebrating, and those are the people that we are one with. And then Bill said, well, who's going to create this new myth? And he said, it's the function of artists to mythologize the environment, the world, and its people. And when I heard that, I said, raised my hand physically and said, sign me up. I want to do that. So it's Joseph Campbell and my children's mural program students and their families who gave Think Round our code of ethics. Earth is home, humans are family. Another great writer and storyteller is Houston Smith and his series on the world religions, or the religions of man. He said, if we take the world's enduring religions at their best, we discover the distilled wisdom of the human race. And I grew up in a Christian home. It was chaotic. I knew nothing about anything distilled or wise. It felt very dangerous in my home. And there were 7 kids and 2 parents who had issues. So I've done a deep dive into the basics of the world religions through my Paradise Project and discovered the essential wisdoms of humanity are the reality. Most of us believe in the reality of God, that each of us has a soul or an eternal spirit. I think everyone can believe or value at least compassion and love, and many of us believe that God is love. The other person whose writing has affected everything we've done at Think Round is Gary Zukav and his book, The Seed of the Soul. He says that the purpose of our journey on this precious earth is now to align our personalities with our souls and to create harmony, cooperation, sharing, and reverence for life. It is to grow spiritually. This is our new evolutionary path. So I have spent 36 years in recovery from what happened to me as a kid. And it's been all about aligning the energy of my personality with the intention of my soul. And what you're hearing today is where God has brought me. So I'm going to quickly review our art and science programs, our public artworks and accomplishments when we were teaching. We were teaching about the Superfund cleanup and reuse of the shipyard. And in our children's mural program, we taught about environments and the cleanup of the past, present, and future of the shipyard. And the essential nature of our lessons were that when the air, water, and soil are happy and healthy, so will be the plants, animals, and people. Our second year curriculum is called KEEP, Kids Environmental Education Program. It's a series of field trips to City Hall to meet the mayor and the Board of Supervisors and the Department of Energy and so forth. And we took them to Hunters Point Shipyard, and they met the Navy, and they met the redevelopment agency, and they met the developer who's building, and they met the environmental science people who are cleaning up the shipyard, because it is a Superfund site. And it's still, this was 30 years ago. We started in 1992, and they've had to re-begin this whole thing because of improper use of the money to clean up the shipyard. It's just so sad. hang on, I'm trying to get this to move. We also have a teen theater arts program where we taught community history and civic leadership. The kids would paint the life stories of civic leaders like Mayor Brown and then act out their life stories on stage at the Bayview Opera House. We've taken scores of children to Dakar, Senegal, and Paris, France, to have exhibition of their paintings and to tell their stories in French to other children that we engage them with. At the end of each year, we had a public artwork presented to the neighborhood at the post office, the library, the shopping mall, and this happens to be one of the big facilities on it takes up like a square mile, and traffic goes around it. This is our wastewater treatment facility in Bayview for the whole city of San Francisco. And so the Public Utilities Commission hosted a mural dedication there. We've put tiles in public stairways that the kids have made. We put them at Hunters Point Shipyard as the cleanup and reuse progresses and people and families and tot lots are being implemented and created. You can see their artworks here. Our most elaborate project is called Stream of Consciousness. We did it with 60 elementary school and high school kids as one of the first public art commissions for the shipyard, and it runs 120 feet across the bench back of these two big benches. And we proposed similar projects for the Center for the Human Family, the Bay Trail, that would be created by children, families, and residents in the impact zone of the shipyard. So here's what it looks like up close. We tell the story of water in 24 chapters. Each panel is 1 foot high and 5 feet long. And I'll just quickly go through. You can see the different themes. There's a 16-minute video on our website where I explain everything about each of these panels and how we think round. We teach kids to think round. So our success has been built on innovative partnerships that I developed through my association with the cleanup and reuse of the shipyard. I was a founding member of the Citizens Advisory Committee for Reuse of the Shipyard and helped to write the design for development. And once that got put into law to make the shipyard clean and focus on the arts and education, I resigned from the committee, but we still have very close ties to all of these folks. We won lots of honors and awards, and my favorite is this one, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for Region 9. We won an Environmental Achievement Award in recognition of outstanding leadership in protecting the environment and public health for this and future generations. And we did this in 2001. So we've been way ahead of the game, talking about climate change and global warming, not as something scary for kids, but something that they needed to be aware of. And it's upon us way faster than any of us imagined when we were teaching. But the true benefit of our programs have been that more than 4,000 children have learned the power of their own creativity and stewardship of the planet. When COVID hit, New York Times science and environmental reporter Jim Robbins said fundamental ecological literacy should be taught in every school because these ecosystems sustain us. And we've been doing it we did it for decades, and we hope to do it for decades more with children all across San Francisco and around the world. We also, I graduated from UCSD with a biology degree and a master's of fine arts degree as a painter. And this doctor studies aging. He does research on aging, and he talks about the benefit of intergenerational learning. And all of our programs, all of our taught by senior women mostly, but there are a few senior men who go into the schools and work with us, and they're the ones who help create the stream of consciousness and all the other murals we've done. The shared wisdom of age is that elders have these skills that most parents don't yet. They develop them over time, probably by raising kids. But Dr. Dillip says that there's only one other species that lives as long as we do, and that's whales. And he said that whales raise their children and stay with their children and guide their children into old age, and it provides an evolutionary advantage to children who interact with adults because it instills a calm, assurance, patience, tolerance, kindness, stability that allows the children and the seniors to live longer and remain healthier. So everybody benefits by getting seniors out of the home and into the classroom. And we are getting older and older. In 1850, the average lifespan was 43 years. Now it's closer to 80. Some babies born today may live to be 150 years old. Actually, with AI medicine and research that's being done today, we might be spanning the aging bridge altogether. And the fastest growing population in the US today are people over 85. So we do ask, and we call it the Paradise Project because we ask, is aging an illness? And the NIH has been funding research to study this question for 20 years. And the fact is that all of these technologies and AI solutions for health and wellness may just allow us to have death be an accident and not an illness, or a choice and not an illness. Another person who has been very influential on our thinking at Think Round is Spencer Wells. He's the MD and biology researcher. He wrote The Journey of Man, a Genetic Odyssey, and described the primordial atom as the Y chromosome that's been passed down from male to male through marker mutations. And he has mapped our ancestral journey out of Africa through the male marker and the primordial Eve's marker mutations found on everyone's mitochondrial DNA. And if you ever get a chance to see his documentary on this, it's quite something. So the walk out of Africa has left us with many stresses. You can see that, it was really fun and challenging to be good hunters. And now we have this mode of connecting with people and earning our livings, but it brings a lot of toxic stress into the family home. And the name for that today is called Adverse Childhood Experiences, or ACEs. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. Our new programs and partners that will allow us to expand and reach across the city, the country, and the world with our whole systems learning curriculum is here. So we've added integrated solutions, the Magic of Why process. They have a program for helping children connect with their internal guidance system and stay mindful and connected to their inner teacher, and helps parents prenatally through the 3rd grade to raise happy, healthy children. And Think Round has developed a curriculum that will move out of just elementary school in through middle and high school. And we've taken on our health and wellness partner, Life Spheres. They have a community leadership class where high school kids learn to speak and listen and communicate in effective ways. And they have this program, Turning the Tide of Trauma, for adults who have ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. And this is the program that helped me the most in my life. And the woman who designed and delivered this program at Kaiser completely changed my life. And we've partnered now so that Think Round can offer it to anybody who needs it. We'll talk more about that. And Think Round has become a cooperation circle of URI. I think you guys know about United Religions Initiative, and they are helping us to reach out to partners from around the world who might be interested in this kind of teaching through art and science. So here's our expanded curriculum. I'm not going to go through it. You'll have the recording if you want to take a look and get into it. You can. The models are based on proven educational programs that have been going on for decades at the Harlem's Children's Zone and at Inner City Arts in Los Angeles. We are modeling our programs after these organizations. They've been highly successful in the most challenging neighborhoods to transform the lives of children and families for the better through art and science. So how did ACES become Think Round's new health and wellness programming? So our twin visions and our new curriculum were born out of my own personal broken heartstrings that were buried for decades as I was teaching my students over the 20 years. I would get triggered. They'd come to me with a story like, my dad tore up the roses you gave me at the final celebration last night, and he tore up my painting, and he said I was no good. But oh my God, I can't take this. And it wasn't just once or twice, it was many times that I just had to take a pause because I had completely repressed what had happened to me as a kid. So they were my students were teaching me as I was teaching them when the air, water, and soil are happy and healthy, the plants, animals, and people can be. They were teaching me that it takes a village to clean up and reuse one's own toxic childhood. So Nadine Burke Harris is the first Surgeon General of the state of California. She was appointed in 2019, I think, by Gavin Newsom to be the first Surgeon General of California. And she was looking to start a pediatric clinic in Bayview Hunters Point because there was one pediatrician for 10,000 children in that neighborhood. And she set it up with the Pacific Medical Center, and she had all these teachers coming to her with these kids with a potential diagnosis of ADHD. And she said, no, it's not ADHD. After she did their history, it's PTSD. These kids are suffering from PTSD. And if you have an ACE score, an adverse childhood experience score of 4 or more, you're at risk of dying 20 years earlier from 7 of the 10 causes of adult death. So she says we have to have the courage to look the problem in the face and say it's real and it's all of us. She says, I believe all of us are the movement. So as soon as I found her TED Talk, I called my board together and I said, we're going to join the movement. Okay. And that's when we took on Diana's Turning the Tide of Trauma program, because I had been doing trauma incident reduction with her through Kaiser for the first go around that she did. So these are the top 10 childhood adversities that are toxic because they're prolonged and their kids have no power to change them. And my ACE score happens to be 9 out of 10. And so you can see why I would be on a rampage to make sure that we prevent and heal adverse childhood experiences, given all the children I've been exposed to and know what they're going through. These are the adult illnesses associated with ACEs. I've suffered on many of these. Nearly half of California adolescents report mental health difficulties since COVID, and Dr. Robert Block, the former president of the American Academy of Pediatrics, says ACEs are the single greatest unaddressed public health threat facing our nation today, not just for the health risks, but it affects also our pocketbooks because of healthcare costs, special education costs, loss of worker productivity, and so on. In 2008, the United States spent $124 billion on these outcomes from childhood adversity. In 2019, America spent $748 billion on those costs. So preventing ACEs is a priority now for the CDC, the NIH, the state of California, the Center for Youth Wellness that Dr. Burke Harris started in Bayview Hunters Point, and Think Round Inc. Our health and wellness program has biannual open enrollments. It's peer-based and it's free, confidential, non-religious, and non-medical. We joined the movement in 2017, and we hope that everyone will join the movement. Dr. Harris says ACEs are treatable, ACEs are beatable. She launched an ambitious campaign in 2020 to train tens of thousands of Medi-Cal providers to screen children and adults up to age 65 for trauma. And the Center for the Human Family, which Think Round is building virtually as we speak, will focus on healing parents with ACEs to prevent intergenerational and epigenetic transmission of trauma from childhood. So what are our twin visions? Let's talk about them. The first is the Center for the Human Family. It's being built as virtually right now as a destination for prayer and meditation, art and science, health and healing. That means individual, family, community, nations. We want to end conflicts. We want conflict resolution to be upon the world. We will be studying human spiritual evolution through consciousness and creativity, and we will focus on the planet and her people. And people will be able to access it anytime over the World Wide Web when our interns get through with their work. And the Paradise Project is my personal project. It's based on families who are from around the world of different ethnicities who are practicing the 10 of the major world religions. Exterior, everything you see from now on about these twin visions have been done by youth who come as volunteers. This was created by volunteers. everything you're going to see from now on, I had nothing to do with. Kids are doing this. So they're building aquaponics gardens and fish farms and exterior spaces with urban farming, open spaces, parks, promenades, bay trail, and so forth. That's imagined for the shipyard or someplace better. So on the top floor will be the Paradise Project with the 7 installations of family. The second floor will have a healing center and exhibitions and a multi-use auditorium. In the lobby, we'll have reception, culinary classes, culinary academy, fine dining, and automated takeout. So all of this youth have created, our architectural renderers, digital animators, Unity developers, UX, UI prototypers, and the like. They're brainiacs, and I'll talk more about them towards the end of this presentation. So we're going to talk about the first floor. We'll be celebrating plants, animals, and people, featuring foods and cultures from the 7 continents of the world. The second floor walkway between the Center for the Human Family and the aquaponics garden and fish farms. The garden and fish farms will be biodynamic, hyperlocal, regenerative, technology-based aquaculture. The plants will feed the fish and the fish will feed the plants. And both of these things will be used in the restaurant. That's hyperlocal. The second floor will celebrate air, water, and soil through touch-free, immersive, interactive exhibitions. We'll also have conference and healing rooms, a multi-use auditorium, and temporary exhibitions. So on the third floor, here's a 3D rendering of the Paradise Project and the 7 installations. This is a hologram of the Earth with the magnetic field dividing the room into 7 continents, or 7 installations that will feature 500, in the end, 546 portraits of 28 families practicing 10 major world religions. So here we are. The families of Abraham are done, Jews, Christians, and Muslims. We finished last year Hindus, and this installation of Hindus and Sikhs. I'm painting right now indigenous families. I went to Oklahoma and met a Choctaw family, and I'm done with her 20 portraits, and I have indigenous family from South America that I will begin tomorrow, I hope. So we're catalyzing the prophecy of the eagle and the condor coming together in this first part of this, and then we'll add the 2 remaining families, because each installation has 4 families of different ethnicities. So we've got North and South America first, and then next year, when all 4 families are done, we'll have North, South America, Asia, and Africa indigenous families. So I'll just have 2 more of these to do, and we'll finish those by 2029. I've been working on this since 2000. So the key features are the template here, the tree of life. On the right column, we have columns of paintings of girls, girl groups, moms. On the left, boys. I'm sorry, left, girls, girl groups, mom. Right, boys, boy groups, dads. Through the center column, we have front yards of these 4 families, infants, adolescents, and backyards. These white crosses indicate an open circle where you can step inside the circle, and there are 4 paintings on the inside. So these colored circles are developmental human experiences, and the paths that connect them are archetypal experiences that we share. So you can see in an installation that happened at my gallery in LA in 2021. This show opened on September 11th, 2021 at my gallery in LA. But you can see the yellow circle in the map corresponds to a yellow stand with, I'm sorry, the green circle corresponds to the green circle. And that's where boys, you see pictures of European looking north, south is Latin, east is Asian, west is Latin, or west is African. And this is the first 3D rendering done in Unity that a volunteer came and he did this all on his own. I just told him what it was and gave him the images, and he built it for me. So I'm not going to show the full 5 minutes. You can watch it if you want on our YouTube channel. People of every ethnicity can come to this destination, the center, and walk this Paradise Project as a labyrinth and see themselves. They can find themselves and they can hear themselves and hear the stories of these families. We hope to have intergenerational family art making so that families are actually building and embedding their own faith and their own signs and symbols into the floors that they walk on through mosaic tiles. And the stands will be different. They've been designed, conceived to be different. And you'll see that in the new iteration of that last video you saw. There will be a stained glass ceiling that depicts the walk out of Africa of mankind onto the 7 continents. The walls of the dome will have the flora and fauna of each continent, along with touch-free changing displays of the art history of each faith. And kids have done such a beautiful job of creating this dream. The holographic earth has been created digitally, and there is a cross section showing the interaction of the core, mantle, crust, and the magnetic field, whose lines divide the room into the 7 installations. So I'm just going to take a quick run through of the families of Abraham that have been painted: Asian, European, Latin, and African, and so forth for each faith. So here's a front yard, a backyard, an archetypal experience, wedding day, a girl group. Here's another girl group of another family. Boy group, adolescent, mom, dad. So you get the idea. Here are the Christian families. Again, Asian, African, European, and Latin. And the backgrounds on each of these portraits are different materials related to the ethnicity. These are Japanese rice papers. African prints, vinyl wallpapers for us Europeans, and handmade papers from around the world for Latin. So you can see some of the paintings for that exhibit. Here are some of the Muslim families. This is mom. And this is an archetypal experience, girl group. These paintings are cropped because these are vertical paintings. They can't be presented properly in this format, but I hope you get the idea, and you'll be able to see it virtually soon. Here are some of the Hindu and Sikh portraits that we've done. We used digital artwork. We took photographs and colored them and then collaged them and then mounted them. These are all Hindu Sikh. And here's the backgrounds for them. All of the 78 portraits in this installation have vintage saris from India as their background. And these papers are from, I think, Asia, somewhere in Asia. So first families, I have a few paintings of the pictures of the paintings I'm finishing now of the Choctaw family from Oklahoma. We're using gabardine cloth and then quilting squares with tribal, indigenous, North American tribal symbols. And we're also using digital prints to finish these paintings. And on October 12th at 5 p.m., we're going to have an opening reception for part 1 of this, the first 2 families. And we'll have a Zoom presentation. You'll get to meet the families, and we'll have an update from the interns with their virtual Center for the Human Family. So why build? Why create the Paradise Project? Why spend 30 years in meditation and prayer for the human family through this process called the Paradise Project? And why build the Center for the Human Family? It's intended to mark the end of marginalizing the issue of childhood trauma and end the suppression of women and children in the US and around the world. We have got to change the way women and children are treated. We have to celebrate also the heart of trauma, its cause, and the hope for its cure. And it begins at home with our families. And then it goes to our faith and what our Sunday school teachers tell us. But everything looked hunky-dory in my house on the outside. On the inside, it was not fun. It was paralyzing. So we are asking everyone to join the movement to prevent and heal ACEs. And how do you join the movement? We just ask people to do your homework. If you take the ACE test, you can see those 10 things that might have happened to you as a kid. And most people have at least 1 or 2. But if you have 4 or more, you can pass that on through your genes and through the way you talk to your children and behave as an adult. And we want to heal all of that and give families and parents in particular the support they need to outgrow these old ideas. And we plan to do it through our intergenerational programs and our therapeutic programs for healing ACEs. We have a new program called Can Art Heal Your Life and Can Science and Art Create Magic in Your Life? We do that here in the studio. We've done it in different cities around the world. or different cities in California, sorry. This is a portrait of, this is where my art career started. I got my MFA at UCSD, and this is a portrait of my backyard. These are my siblings and I. Nobody has a face, and I have no legs. So that gives you an idea of how I felt when I was in college and in graduate school, and why I've been put on this task by my higher power. And we believe that healing the earth and humans requires a new paradigm for living. We'll shift from the fear model of competition, scarcity, tyranny, oppression, greed, and secrecy that we're living through today in our politics, and move through into the love model of cooperation, abundance, self-expression, freedom, generosity, and transparency. This is the URI feeling of living. It's the 12-step program feeling of living life. So we ask, who first taught you to love, and can you protect yourself with embody these protections so that if you get into a stressful situation, you can protect yourself. This is what the magic of why teaches children. Because I grew up, this is me in the 6th grade, this is me in the 7th grade, and I'm telling you, each one of these objects is a symbol. Here's a bear sitting on my head. I was tied up and raped when I was 6 years old by a pedophile in a public park. And that he asked me, do you know where the bear went over? Do you know the bear went over the mountain when I came out of a public restroom? And I said, sure. And we walked over the hill singing The Bear Went Over the Mountain. And that guy hiked me up on his hip and squeezed my arm so hard and said into my ear, if you scream, I'll kill you. And I passed out. And that guy has been transformed through my artwork as a bear sitting on my head my whole life. This is my stepdad, who was a medical doctor in a small town, but he had issues. He was a batterer when he drank, and I had never experienced such fear until him, and I had to leave my mother behind to get some freedom. And I moved in with my dad and my stepmom, and that was not fun either. I became a bartender for them and myself. So as a child, I got burned, and as a very young child, I got burned. And it's taken 36 years in recovery, 12-step recovery, and all kinds of therapy for complex PTSD to find my inner teacher, my holy guardian angel, the love of God within me. And God has given me the Paradise Project and the Center for the Human Family, because these old ideas where fear and hate that are learned at home have to be let go of, absolutely. The point is that we have a choice. We know now that what ACEs do to children's developing brains, it causes them to be predisposed to become addicts and alcoholics. And we can change that. And what we're building the Center for the Human Family and the Paradise Project to assist humanity to remember we are deliberate creators capable of and actually responsible for manifesting heaven on earth here and now. Because if we're going to live to be only 150 years old, why wouldn't we want to clean things up inside and out? And if everybody does it, we can have heaven on earth here and now. We believe happy, joyous, and free parents mean happy, healthy children and sustainable families. Happy, joyous, and free families mean a happy, healthy, sustainable planet, and gives us a broader perspective of Earth as home, humans as family. So these young people are some of the interns last year at this time when we presented the completed Family Dharma Hindus and Sikh installation. 70 youth had created the beginnings of our Heaven on Earth through a launch of our virtual Center for the Human Family. And this year we have over 200 young people who have worked on this project over the last year. And we've had more than 3,400 volunteer match applicants. So youth want this, they like this idea. They want to help make it so. And so we believe they are amazing. And we want to give them all the depth and breadth that they need to manifest this into a shared reality. So here's one of the transformations. This is a 1-minute video of what they did to the Paradise Project.
Heather, we're not seeing anything. Are we
Huh?
supposed to? No.
Oh, do you hear the sound?
No, we still have the picture up.
That is weird. I'm seeing it. I wonder why you're not seeing it. Your screen is paused. Your screen sharing is paused. Can you see it?
Sometimes we had to take down the PowerPoint in order to put up a video. I don't know if that, hopefully that doesn't happen for you.
Well, let's see here. It says, what are you seeing now?
The rainbow, what's the point? And we have a choice.
So you didn't see these next slides?
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know why. I've never had this happen. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to try and share again. Thank you for letting me know. Do you see, what do you see now?
The angels, the 2 angel pictures.
So we'll go back. Where did we leave off? You said?
There's a rainbow picture.
Oh yeah.
Right
Here.
there.
Okay. So let's see if we can pick up where we left off.
Okay.
So we have a responsibility to do this. We believe that happy, joyous, and free parents mean happy, healthy children and sustainable families. You're seeing that?
Yes. Yes, we're good.
Happy, joyous, and free families mean a happy, healthy, sustainable planet and give us the perspective of Earth as home and humans as our family. And these, do you see the interns now?
Yes.
Okay. So last year when we launched or completed the Hindu Sikh installation, they presented it was a virtual launch of our Heaven on Earth Here and Now. And this year, like I said, it's now over 200 youth have been working on it. And they come from over 3,400 volunteer match applicants. So these youth want this. They are making it so. And here's the video.
Here it is. Okay, we're here. I'm seeing that. Thank
Can
you.
you read?
Oops, it stopped. There it goes.
Now you see what they've done for the Paradise Project. Now I'm going to show you what they've created for our big picture of the Center for the Human Family. This is a 4-minute video. So we're getting close to the end here. So in closing, we ask, can the Center for the Human Family become an asset for San Francisco or some other city in this country? I personally think that San Francisco, the city of love, can guide the new paradigm for living in harmony with others and with reverence for the web of life. We certainly have civic leadership to do that, governmental leadership to do that. We believe that the Center for the Human Family can transform the Hunters Point shipyard in the same way that the Bilbao Guggenheim Museum did in Bilbao, Spain. It was a decrepit port city. Once the museum opened, it became an international destination for families from around the world and completely transformed the life of that city. And we think that we can do the same through for the Center for the Human Family here in the Southeast sector, and create it as they did through private-public partnerships. Imagine that this is the Center for the Human Family. This is actually the map of the Getty in LA. And if this was the Center for the Human Family, and here's the aquaponics garden right on the waterfront, then we would have all, when I went to the Getty, I thought, Heidi, you're thinking way too small. You could have this huge complex. And that's what we decided at the CAC, the Citizens Advisory Committee for Reuse of the Shipyard. We want to have an arts district. And so I believe that, this will be what little piece the Center for the Human Family will offer, will just amplify everything that can be done at the shipyard or wherever else the higher power wants it to go. And who and what sources could fund such a dream? We've got all of this laid out, and we're doing our best to find benefactors and corporate donors and so forth. But we have, many committees working on this and a board that's active. We know that right now that currently the American Rescue Plan is helping to cover the cost for 2 new Smithsonian museums, one for Latinos and one for women. We're asking, can the American Family Plan help to cover the cost for the Center for the Human Family? We'll have to ask Madam President if that's true. Can we do that? We want to instill Afrocentric focus at the Center for the Human Family, emphasizing that we all walked out of Africa, we're all related, and we populated all these continents, and we don't have to hide from that fact anymore or worry whether our whiteness will change. It's just different. So we believe that now's the perfect time to bring humans together through education. We'd like to teach across the lifetime, from prenatally through retirement, pro-social emotional skills development, interfaith, cultural, and environmental literacy, science, the arts, and self-expression. See that happen? So I'm going to give you this. We're going to close with a 3-minute meditation. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and imagine your vision of heaven on earth here and now. And I'm going to play some familiar and loving music for you for your meditation. Can you hear that?
Yes. No, don't hear anything anymore.
Can you hear that?
No. It started and then it went off.
Heard me?
It started and then it went off.
You know who's singing?
No.
Are we supposed to be hearing something?
I'm listening to John Lennon sing his Imagine song.
Oh, we're not hearing it. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you telling me it's almost over. So if you've been in quiet meditation thinking about your vision of heaven on earth, that's what you're supposed to have been doing. And now we will close by asking you to share your dreams with us so we can include your voice as part of our collective vision. And we'd ask you to join us in Tri's vision for a heavenly earth here and now, into our shared reality. So the only other slides I have are this, if you have questions about how you might help or want to get in touch with me. So those are recorded now and you can access them later. So I'm going to stop sharing and get your thoughts about all this craziness that I've wrangled from the ethers with all these young people.
Heidi, you have,
I'm blown away.
no, well, you can't.
It's
be. That's
amazing,
what I was going to say.
amazing. Amazing. And, you know, our prayers are that this happens and happens quickly with all the money that you need. Because it's a beautiful, what it reminded me is, you know, you see some of these movies with the futuristic people and stuff. This is the future kind of buildings. To me, is the future of where we're going as a human family, where we have to go. That we can't do otherwise. It has to be this way. So my vision is that people really come to terms with the fact that we're all one family, and that regardless of color of skin, culture, faith, ethnicity, it's just the outer of what's truly real on the inner, which is we're divine beings living in this earth dimension, and we need to step up our consciousness and realize that. So, but
Don, are you on? We always see your picture, but
There he is.
there is.
Hi there. Excuse me just a moment. I had to plug my phone in, it just ran out. Well, I think the family is the foundation of society and the world. And we need to do everything we can to promote it. Using our gifts, you certainly have some wonderful gifts. Your art, play and everything. Take care of it that way. And our church has its own ways of doing things, but you know, I just wish that the title of this presentation had been more understandable. I had no idea what it meant, so I just was curious. But it's a very impressive presentation, but think round didn't mean anything to me. So next time you present it, have some sort of tagline on that, explains what that means.
I hope that you will write down your ideas for what that might mean, or what a good catch title would be.
Yeah, I mean, we should have a large number of people watching this.
Yeah, this is really excellent. It's just fabulous. And
yeah,
I think you're right, Don. I think if it had a catchier title to it, it might have brought in more people.
well, I have to admit that Heidi and her group came on last minute. Ruth connected us because there was one opening for a presentation and said, oh, you need to talk to Heidi. You got to see what they're doing. And unfortunately, I don't think we got all your information till yesterday or perhaps the day before.
Yeah, and that's when we talked for the first time, was day before yesterday. So I put all of this together today and yesterday, and
Oh my gosh. Oh, Heidi,
Really?
it was so good. It was so good. I'm just so impressed. I want to walk through there. I want to be there. I want to go there.
Yeah.
I just,
And
oh,
I was an architect for 25 years, and I was around people who could draw the future building, and they'd always have a few people walking around and doing whatever. But what you presented there is so beyond
oh yeah.
any of the stuff that I had ever been involved with. So beautiful.
It was just stunning.
Yeah.
So what will you do with it? How are you gonna use this presentation?
well,
Let you know that Don is pretty much in charge of all the interfaith groups in Southern California.
Mhm.
Orange
Right, Don?
County. Orange
Yeah.
County.
Well, I'm in contact with him, yeah.
Yeah. And so if you've got a whole bunch of people connected with Don that would have a feeling of this is in our state, this is in our house, in our neighborhood. Where we've had people this past week from India and Kosovo, and I don't even remember where they were from. With the fact that there are so many people working for peace and understanding between faith and people in California.
Yep.
These kids are from all over the world. I have a prompt engineer from Syria who's trying to figure out how we heal the broken heartstrings of the Middle East.
Oh, yes, yes.
So he's using chat. He says, I'm in discussion with Chat GPT to solve this problem because people have to heal. Otherwise, it keeps getting amplified
Yeah.
Right, right.
until till we're at that breaking point. And I hope that we don't need to go into nuclear war again. So we'll just trust that Chat GPT, artificial intelligence, and these young people who want the planet and the people on the planet to heal, that they can do this. And we just need to give them the space and the encouragement to do it. And you're certainly giving me the encouragement to encourage them to do it.
No, absolutely. And I love what you said about ACEs and the families and healing the children that are, and children and as adults for their childhood traumas. So I was just so torn when you were telling your story. I just can't imagine, can't imagine. So I'm just very impressed with you as a person. Come through so much and you're giving back 100,000 more. That's really wonderful.
Well, people like you have encouraged me along the way, and Ruth has been such a guiding light. I've met her through the Women's Interfaith Network at URI.
We've had a number of URI presentations this past week, and wonderful. We are the World Interfaith Network is a CC.
Yeah, Cece.
Yeah.
Well, now we can hook up, and maybe you guys can help me, because when I spoke with Nancy Pelosi's aides about, how do we get this going? How do we raise the money to do this? How can we get the people at the shipyard to pay attention? And she said, well, you need the interfaith community to be involved.
Yeah.
Because they pull a lot of purse strings in the Bay Area, and they don't even want to talk to me. And somebody said it's because
Do you have contacts in the interfaith community in the Bay Area? You know who they all are?
Well, of course, I know Michael Pappas and I know, they just don't seem to be that interested. Because somebody said it's because it's not their idea. They think you're going to draw funding away from them. And I thought,
That's
please, that's
crazy.
that scarcity thinking.
Yeah,
That's that fear model of thinking.
right. You know, when you help somebody else, you only benefit. And I don't know why they don't get that. You know,
So if
They
you guys know if you know these people, I know that what is her name? She just turned 100 a little bit ago. Uh, she's the one who started the Interfaith Council or the Interfaith Network in San Francisco. Anyway, I can't remember her name, but I haven't been able to reach her, but certainly Bill Swing knows about us.
know who he is. Steve, is Bettina up there in San Francisco? Or is she in Los Angeles? Tina Gray?
I think she's in San Francisco.
She is too. We should give her Heather's name and introduce them.
Well, see, the beauty, what we've done with Interfaith Awareness Week for the many years is these recordings become part of our archive. And by putting on YouTubes that anyone from around the world can come in and download, or we can send to our new president, who's from California.
Soon to be new president.
That's what we could do. Okay. We have contacts, and the contacts have contacts. And just like I said about Don, he knows everybody in California. So we'll leave it up to him to connect those people.
Yeah, Don, get with it.
Okay,
I really appreciate
why not?
any sorts of encouragement. I will send you the link to the video if you want to just introduce what we do through the video, then that would be great. If people are interested, my information is there.
Well, what I'm going to be doing next week is contacting all the presenters and thanking them and that type of thing, and then asking from your recording of your presentation, turn it into a YouTube and send it to me, and it'll go on our archives. Right now, we've got over 50
That
presentations.
was from last year. So we're waiting for this year. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't include the 32 presentations that have gone on this week. So, yeah, and yours is one of them.
Well, I
So-
appreciate it. I'm very grateful.
So the two people that I would send your presentation to would be Bettina Gray and Paul Chaffee. That was the other guy I was trying to remember, Steve. He's up in San Francisco. Yeah, I know he's retired, but he may still be involved in the interfaith group up there. Just not sure.
Oh, yeah, and he knows everybody too.
He knows a lot of people, so
In
Well,
fact,
I
we
would,
were in San Francisco in 2008, and that was our first introduction to interfaith.
outside of our own little Poway interfaith team.
You know, we had in San Diego this little Poway interfaith, and we brought people in from different faiths, and they talked and they learned and they ate food together. And it was we thought we were the only ones that ever did it. And were directed to San Francisco to the North American Interfaith Network. And Paul was there.
Hey, Lindahl, but she's in LA, I think.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of people that, yeah. Anyway, not to,
Anyway, yeah.
I just We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, well, anything you can do. I know this is not something that I have any power or control over. The higher power is guiding this and has been the whole time. So I trust that whatever's meant to be will be.
Amen. I agree
Yeah, you have a great
so much.
attitude.
Well, I've been sober too long to be upset about anything or to be grabby about anything.
You seem at peace, even though
I
there's
am.
a lot of people here.
Yeah, well, I feel very blessed and healed. And it's taken decades, but it's been worth the effort. I painted all these portraits of families to reparent myself. And I couldn't have had a broader or more beautiful experience than meeting all these families from around the world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we're gonna get off and let you go for dinner, and
Thank you, Heather, so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Fabulous presentation.
Good
Well,
night, John.
I'm so grateful you were here to hear this.
We're happy to be here.
Okay. Bye. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.